We thought Pete was going to film us.
Right. Yes! Oh! That's cheating. You got it. Wait, you threw them all again now. Come on.
So how are we doing with the script, guys?
This is the script.
It's fine.
We're doing really well.
Good.
How well are we doing?
Well, we finished one legal pad and we're just starting our second one.
And what's on the first legal pad?
As much as the second one.
Logistics.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta get your logistics done before you have fun.
Why don't you ask the audio guard?
The budget.
Yeah.
We figured out the budget.
The budget. That's what we did.
But aren't we supposed to be filming the show like now?
Well, you gotta have a little bit of fun too. Otherwise, the show takes longer to do. Sufficient.
The guests are here.
Okay.
We need to film the show now.
Well, they can grab a candy.
I'm going to enjoy one.
Yeah.
Pete?
Hey, you gotta throw. You gotta.
Okay. We have a great show lined up. The voice of the Patriots, Mr. Bob Socci, is here. The Cookie Mama is in the house. And, of course, it's Late Night New England. It's Wicked Good TV. Welcome back to the Late Night program. We are so excited about the upcoming Patriots 2019 campaign. The Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, your New England Patriots. Please welcome to the Late Night program, the voice of the New England Patriots. You can hear him each and every week on 98.5, the Sports Hub. Please welcome to the Late Night program, Mr. Bob Socci. How we doing, Bob?
Doing great, Michael. Good to be with you. For me.
The ball is in your court, my friend. The ball is in your court.
Well, try not to drop it. There's a reason I'm in broadcasting and not on the field. Well, many reasons, but among them, bad hands.
We live vicariously through you each and every Sunday. Not to be, Captain Obvious here, but how amazing is this, Mr. Socci? Yet again, Super Bowl champions.
Incredible. 6 seasons heretofore for me alongside Scott Zolak. And speaking of living vicariously, I think we all do that through Zoe for sure.
Big personality.
No question about it, life of the party. And, of course, for the Patriots, we've had a chance to be at the ultimate, the pinnacle of NFL parties, the Super Bowl in 4 of our 6 seasons together. And the other 2 exceptions, the Patriots made it to the AFC Championship game. So we've been incredibly spoiled. We try not to take it for granted, just like I think everybody in New England. Really savor the success of this team and appreciate it. It's been a run like no other in the history of professional sports. When you consider the salary cap, free agency in the NFL, and the fact that the Patriots, over the last 19 years under Bill Belichick, and with Tom Brady, of course, a quarterback for 18 of those last 19 seasons, to win 6 championships, simply amazing.
I know, Bob. It's it's what we do. Win. Football fan. We are so spoiled. Kicking and screaming and yelling. How do you, sir, keep your composure? I know you're a professional, but I'm getting excited just thinking about it. These moments, these catches, these plays, these comebacks. Let's talk about Atlanta. 28-3. I was asking people politely to leave my home.
If I could have left the stadium, I probably would have at halftime, but I couldn't.
Of course not.
I couldn't do what others, including Mark Wahlberg, allegedly have done. But you just try to be professional. And in the case of, and that's a great example too, Super Bowl 51, because in the case of that particular game, our booth was silent at halftime. And the halftime show was ongoing, there's bright lights and loud music. And in contrast to Super Bowl 49, I think Katy Perry was out there as opposed to Lady Gaga. We were into the show. We were fired up. It was a back and forth first half between the Patriots and the Seahawks, a very exciting first half in a lot of different ways. But with the Falcons game, the Patriots had moved the ball, but they were in arrears, as you said, down 3 scores. You looked at the start of the second half, hoping maybe they can come back and make it interesting.
Sure.
And that's all I was hoping for. But I was also reminding myself, look, you've got to be professional. You have a job to do, and it's to try to paint the picture the best you can and you also have to keep your partner engaged. And I think one of the reasons why people appreciate Zoe so much is that he, like the fans, rides that roller coaster on a weekly basis, and I do too. But in my case, as the play-by-play guy, it's incumbent on me to at least maintain composure enough to try to paint the picture, because ultimately that's what you're doing, Michael.
Absolutely.
You're there to be the eyes of the listener who's in his or her car, or in a toll booth, who can't be at the game or in front of a television screen. A first responder listening to the game.
You're painting that picture,
Yeah.
the theater of the mind. So, Bob, tell people back home here in New England, how do you start your career? How does one become so fortunate and blessed to end up with the greatest franchise of all time?
No question about it. It is the best organization in the best league, I believe, in sports around the world. And for me, it's really been a long, winding path to get to this point. As cliched as that sounds, that's the truth. I grew up in upstate New York, in the middle of New York State, the Finger Lakes region, between Syracuse and Rochester, and knew at a very early age, Michael, that I wanted to be a broadcaster. When I was 11 or 12 years old playing Little League Baseball, fortunate enough that we had a great complex and really great people involved in the Little Leagues, and they had a PA system and stadium lights so that I could play in a game and then go up in the press box.
Sure.
And as this kid who had an itch to be a broadcaster someday, I was given the opportunity to announce the batters' names or tell people if a foul ball was hit out of play, please return all foul balls to the playing field immediately. And that was the dawn of a broadcasting career. Went to college at the University of Dayton in Ohio, did internships, foremost among them for me was a stint with the Cincinnati Reds, working with Major League Baseball announcers. And I used that opportunity to parlay work in PR into a broadcasting opportunity in minor league baseball. And I started to follow this circuitous path around the country in the minor league, starting from the lowest levels in Peoria, Illinois, at the Class A ranks, moved to the Eastern Shore of Maryland, got my foot in the door at the Naval Academy, and I thought it would be a lot faster, that track, for me to try to achieve my dreams. And it took a long, long time, 20-plus years in the minor leagues, eventually AAA with the Norfolk Tides and the Albuquerque Isotopes and the Pawtucket Red Sox. And meanwhile, had this great experience, very rewarding experience, calling Navy football for 16 years. In that time, met my wife, who's from the South Shore of Boston. We moved to New England back in 2007. I had very few contacts here, knocked on doors.
And you end up being the announcer.
Going back and forth.
Sure.
Reached out to Gil Santos at that time, asked him to listen to a CD of mine. He liked it, gave me some constructive criticism. Went back to him a couple years later, knocked on his door when the Sports Hub launched and said, I'd like to at least go talk to someone there. And he gave me a name. And I got my chance to sit down in front of the program director, Mike Thomas, and Mark Hannon, at that time with CBS Radio as the market manager for Boston. And they liked me enough that, although I didn't have a job at that time offered to me or any opportunities, Rick Radzik was another person in that meeting who deserves to be mentioned as the assistant program director at the Sports Hub. They held on to my CD and they listened to it and they liked what they heard. And a few years later, when Gil retired, I got an email from the Sports Hub saying we'd like to hear more.
Winners win, and that is a winning story. Congratulations to you. We live, again, through our sports, and we're so fortunate. And do you pinch yourself?
All the time. All the time. It's funny, you talk about Super Bowls and how exciting they are. I still get an adrenaline rush for preseason games. We're just a couple of weeks away from the start of training camp. And then the Patriots play in the preseason. And I love every opportunity to be on the air. I hate when the season ends for a variety of reasons. As exciting as the Super Bowl is, I'm sure there's a sense of getting back to routine at home and having some time away from the broadcast booth. But I love being in the booth. I love the preparation for each game, everything that's involved in it. And I've had a tremendous experience here. The quality of life that the NFL schedule allows is unlike the other professional sports. My counterparts in Boston, for example, call play-by-play for the other teams, they have far more taxing schedules than I do as a play-by-play voice of the Patriots. So it's rewarding on a lot of different levels, and I try to appreciate that. But I do love broadcasting. I love the games, and hopefully that passion comes across in the work.
Well, we're learning about the X's and the O's and your story, and like any any game, you have to have a little tailgating. So Maybe we could do a little grilling, a little barbecue. Now it's that time, Bob, to really do some barbecuing. Patriots 2019, your insight, your opinion. Super Bowl champions coming off an amazing season once again. Mr. Socci?
Well, dare I say, to stick a fork in the rest of the AFC East, Patriots will be back on top of the division, and I think they're going to be right in the hunt once again to get back to the Super Bowl.
Bob, obviously you've been around the culture, the experience of being at Gillette Stadium. Without too much intel, how do they consistently continue to do this?
Well, they have the best coach, as we all know, not only in the game today, but I believe beyond arguably of all time. They have the best quarterback of all time. So you start right there. Decided advantage on the sideline and in the huddle week after week after week. But there's much more than Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And it really does begin with the culture that they help to establish, and in the case of Brady, really emulate day to day. It's a team that really is resourceful. They put players in positions, speaking of the coaches and Belichick in particular, where they're more apt to succeed. They kind of hide their weaknesses in a sense. They're game plan specific, so they can take players from a week-to-week basis and give them roles that are specific to either exploiting their opponent's weakness or hiding their own deficiencies as a team. And I think that that's where it starts for them. It's the culture. It's the team first concept. A lot of the cliches that go back to what we heard from our high school coaches and college coaches. It's simple things, fundamentals. The Patriots rarely beat themselves, and in the National Football League, and Belichick will tell his players this often, more games are lost than are won. And the Patriots generally don't beat themselves. That's why last year in September it was so unusual to see them lose to the Dolphins the way they did, and the Steelers the way they did. And then beyond that, there's a lot of talent that I think goes underappreciated around the NFL. When you look at a guy like Julian Edelman, in many respects, for the rest of the league, he was a guy who was an afterthought. But for the Patriots, he found his role and flourished in that role, and he's invaluable.
A quarterback in high school, Julian Edelman, obviously we all know his story. He is Brady's go-to guy. He is his safety blanket.
Yeah, no question about it, and he'll be more so this year without Rob Gronkowski, at least to start.
Well, we are getting candid insight from the voice of the New England Patriots, Mr. Bob Socci, doing some barbecuing. And I've got number 87 coming back in week number 8 as the Patriots win number 7. Bob, thank you very much. We wish you continued success for the upcoming season. We know you're a busy man. Please, next time we see you, we hope you can bring the Lombardi Trophy.
I'll try not to dent it like Gronk did at Fenway Park and try to hold on to it as well as I did with the football, but I'd love to come back.
We are all a little dented here at Late Night New England, folks. More programming coming up. Yes, it is that time. Once again, folks, we are privileged to be in your cozy confines. Boy, that was something. The voice of the Patriots was here. The studio is abuzz. It could just be all that goodness that's happening. Do you smell that, folks? Do you smell that at home? Welcome to the Late Night program, folks. I'm your host, Michael Pettit. She is the one that puts the fun in Foxborough. She is approved by everyone on the staff, even TB12, Mr. Tom Brady. She brings the sweetness to the late night program tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the late night program, the Cookie Mama. Hi there.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
You.
These are for you.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cookie Mama.
Yes.
You have a place in my belly. How did you, congratulations, how did you become known as the Cookie Mama? So fun, so cool.
It happened. Just kind of, it just happened.
No, wait, okay. Look, I like cookies.
Yep.
We make cookies at home.
Yep.
You're the Cookie Mama.
The guys gave me that name. The guys on the team ended up giving me that name somehow, and I'm not quite sure who actually started it, but they all, it's funny, if I introduce myself to them out and about, they'll all do the same thing. I'll show them my jersey, and they'll go, Cookie Mama! And it's just, they all do it the same way, and nobody ever told them. But when Mrs. Kraft passed away, she used to hug everybody, every player before and after every game, and I just thought after she passed that it might be nice if they had a cookie. It might make them feel at home. So what started, and you know how things grow legs? Well, these grew crumbs.
Sure. Sure.
We said to one of the trainers, do you think the guys would like a cookie? And they said, yeah, that'd be nice. And once in a while, and 9:30 Wednesday, it's got to be there, 12 dozen. Every single Wednesday, it's become a superstition. So
144 cookies are delivered via the Cookie Mama, and that's just for the linemen. That's just for those big guys.
That was Trent Brown's last year.
That was Trent Brown, 6'11" and 400 pounds. How exciting for you to just be part of, the Patriots family, and you're known and you're recognized on the street as the Cookie Mama.
Well, I'm known in the kitchen anyway, but they've become part of the family. I mean, I feel like they're my boys. They're my babies, And when my son played college ball, I thought if he ever got drafted, and he always wanted to, he was in Seattle or in LA or something, a cookie might make him feel at home, and that's how it was born. And it's just, as you know, it's grown legs. And the other thing is, there's more than 12 dozen when it comes to Super Bowl.
Oh,
they get mailed to the Super Bowl because Wednesday before the Super Bowl, they're in the town that they're playing.
Sure.
So they get mailed, and they get there by 9:30 on Wednesday morning, when whatever town they're in, and there's 16 dozen. They've earned that one for the Super Bowl, so they get 16 dozen.
I know the big question is, what does Brady, the big guy, the TB12, is that part of the TB12 diet?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Giselle. I don't know.
No, we don't go near Giselle. We know better than that.
No, all I know is I've sent cookies in that locker room, and I don't go in the locker room, but I send them in with the interns. Usually come out and get them, and they probably grab a whole bunch before they bring them back. But I've never gotten any back, so I don't know. I don't know who eats what, when, where, and how. Well,
I think we need to come up with some apparel or something like that. I heart the Cookie Mama. Cookies are good. Everybody likes cookies.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, have you fed them to Mr. Grumpy?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. He's had his own. I used to send a plate back to certain players, whoever had a great game, but they all have such great games. I stopped doing that, and I just give them. They get 4 plates of cookies, 3 trays of cookies actually, and there's 4 dozen in each, and I have on occasion sent them back. And I told the guys if you really needed an extra helping, we sent Mr. Coach, the best coach ever, his own. You got the goat cookies right here. You got the chocolate chip. Mm-hmm. We love the goat. Yeah. And those are those sugar. Those are sugar. Oh baby, told me sugar. Yeah, baby. Red and blue sugars. And that is just exciting. So obviously next you're going to be on tour with a sponsor and franchise. We're discussing franchising, things like that. And the movie. Don't forget the movie. And the movie. Being produced by Edelman. She is in the know. I'm going to throw it out there. What if somebody wanted the Cookie Mama to make an appearance at their tailgate or their backyard? How could someone possibly get a hold of you? Actually, your full name, please. Joanne Hensis. Joanne Hensis. And you have a website? No. We need to get you a website. I think we should work on a website. We can get some crumbs together and we'll get you a website. Hi, I'm the Cookie Mama, and winners win, and taste some of my winning. Cookie Mama's Bake. Cookie Mama's Bake. Thanks for coming on the program. Oh, it was my pleasure, Michael. Thank you so much. Any prediction for the season? Oh, they got it. They got it. I'm so excited for this season. I'm the geek in the house. My husband will ask me what happened today, and I listen to Bob and Zoe all the time. Well, we are fired up. It's tailgating, having all kinds of fun here on the late night program with the Cookie Mama. We're having big bites of fun with the Cookie Mama on Late Night New England.
More cookies and more goodness here on the late night program. I'm Michael Pettit. It's an all Patriots themed program tonight, folks, because we are so proud to be Americans, and we love the red, white, and blue. You might have seen our next guest if you've been to Gillette Stadium or if you're just a fan in general of professional football. He is the rowdiest of the party guys out there, and he just bleeds red, white, and blue. Please welcome to the late night program, the Silver Bullet.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
Awesome, and you?
The Silver Bullet. Look at this guy. Sir, I've been watching you for years, sitting in my man cave, thinking, I want to be that guy. He's having too much fun. And now it's magnified and grown into something I'm sure that you never could have expected.
No.
First and foremost, I know you're a fan.
Absolutely. Of everything Boston.
You're all things New England. And, you know, we had Mr. Socci on. We're all just kind of pinching ourselves. It's amazing. I saw you last year on Good Morning America. I saw you on the NFL Network. I think I'm French. I have relatives in Canada. And they're like, hey, stay down there in Foxborough. How exciting for you?
It was phenomenal. It was an incredible experience, and it's grown beyond my belief. I never started this to be anything but, you know,
a fan
with everyone in my section, and that's just how it all started, and it's just grown and grown.
Now, Silver Bullet, how many years have you been this phenom?
Dressing like this?
Yeah.
This is 18 seasons.
I was going to say it had to be. I can remember back in 07, 08. I just remember when they would cut away from the commercial. It's look at the camera. What do they typically see? They usually see you. The camera pans up, and there you are, and the Patriots are winning. That's all they do.
Seriously, we didn't lose a single home game last year.
No.
And I was there for them all, so.
No.
It's incredible. You know, I mean, I did go to a couple losing games because I do travel.
Sure.
In fact, like this year, I'm planning on going to 5 away games. But, I mean, you can't win them all, but you don't need to win them all to, you know, go to the championship and be champions.
It's very interesting. Obviously, we all know what the end result was for the Patriots. When did you feel like they were starting to turn it around? What week?
As I say to all my friends and family, I say just have faith, just believe, and no matter, you know, what obstacles we go up against, and we lost 2 road games in a row, and everyone's like, you know, you hear from all these naysayers that they're not the Patriots anymore, you know, Tom's too old and Julian's too slow, and you know, it's just all these things you hear, and you just say, you know what, no matter what, I have faith and I believe, you know, just like we always, you know, did for the Red Sox.
Sure.
For all those years that, you know, unfortunately, it was, you know, one of the longest dry spells almost.
Sure.
You know, but for us, you know, I grew up with the Patriots like never winning. In fact, I sat way up in the bleachers when we went 1-15.
Sure.
You know, and you just there every single week, and it was kind of funny. Like back in the days when we weren't doing well, people would be leaving tickets on their windshield with a little sign that said, "Free, please take me."
Sure.
You know,
sure.
And we'd be up in our section and sitting in our seats. I remember, you know, being way up, you know, with the aluminum seats with no back, and the wind's whipping through the chain link fence on the side. And it's like, why don't we move down there? And my great uncle's like, yeah, no, this is our home. We live here. We stay here with our, you know, with our football family. And even though there were, you know, great seats low below, he's like, nope, this is where we live, and this is our home, and we're staying here.
Exciting. I love it. We're all fired up for the season. I see what you're doing with charities, and you're out in the community, young and old. You're a huggable, likable guy, and people just are naturally gravitated towards you. I've seen you. I know you. How does that make you feel? It's so good.
It does make you feel good, but then sometimes I feel bad because, people come up to me and say, oh, remember I met you 7 years ago and we took a picture together and, you just, want to be as nice as possible. Like, oh, yeah, I remember, but, it's kind of crazy because I do travel.
Sure.
And I've been to every single stadium now except for Minnesota because it is brand new. I mean, I did go to Atlanta because of Super Bowl, but, that's just the way it ends up that I've been in, every single stadium at least once. Buffalo, I've been to 7 times, and Jets 5.
Sorry.
Jets, Giants.
Sorry again.
But, it's great to meet fans from around the world, and that's what happens with Super Bowl.
So, any predictions for the season? We need to know.
Well, I actually think we've built an extremely strong offensive line, which is great. And now we're working on more weapons for Brady. And I think that we'll have it, depending on a lot of things. But, no matter what, Tom's shining through that he's age defying. His TB12 method actually works. Whatever this pliability and eating avocado ice cream is, it's obviously working for him. And
the Silver Bullet, you're going to be out there. You're going to be at the games. We're going to see you each and every Sunday. You have some.
I brought a special surprise that no one in this room has actually seen, but they've probably heard of. And this is actually, for me to bring for when I do meet and greets with my fans. And
don't.
Yes, it is. That's what it is. But it's just something I had to do. I haven't done it. Obviously, as you can see, I've had the rings, for all 6, and that's something the fans love to see. But this is the first time that I actually said, you know what, with my going more and more to charity events, and they want to see me in the rings, and someone actually asked me, they're like, do you have any of the trophies? I said, you know what, I think I might change that because I lived through the whole Atlanta to the extreme. And it was an incredible week for me, leading all the way up to an incredible game. And I said, you know what, this is something I'm going to share with as many fans as I can possible. And by bringing, the bling and this almighty trophy.
How did you get this?
Well, here's the thing. So
do we have to sign a release form? I don't want to touch.
Although you can touch it, but look down on the bottom. What do you see?
Silver Bullet.
Yes. So this way, this ain't going anywhere. This is all mine, and I'm pretty excited to have it. And it's just I'm so happy that I'll be able to share it with so many people that don't have the opportunity, to go to Foxborough and go into the Patriot Hall of Fame and see it from a distance. Here you can actually, see it, touch it, get a picture with it, and that's why I was inspired to do this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is unscripted. We were unprepared for this, but this is the type of magic that happens when you are from New England. We are so privileged. Silver Bullet, any predictions for the season?
Yes, I think it's going to be a big season for us. We'll probably end up going 12-4 and on to another Super Bowl.
12-4, you heard it, folks, right here from the late night program. More Late Night New England. Winners win. Coming up. That's a Late Night New England wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Winners win. Special thanks to Mr. Bob Socci, the voice of the New England Patriots, the Cookie Mama, and of course, the Silver Bullet. It's Late Night New England. Wicked good TV. Go Pat. Boom.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors. Good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.